In ASC Civil, base map control is a very critical feature. It provides all of the 2D horizontal data references for ASC to create the 3D geometry that it does in the form of road models and uh, also the true length drafting that you see in the profile generator, as well as other features. Um, Another example of the benefit of base map control is the ability to automatically define alignments throughout an entire site just by clicking a single button. The base map control provides the centerline geometry, and ASC will analyze that geometry and create the alignments from it directly from the base map control. uh, One of the biggest benefits of base map control is the ability to perform detailed 3D road modeling through your subdivision corridors without the need to create any offset alignments. You can even create the same type of highly detailed geometry in the form of 3D road models through divided roads without creating any offset alignments along the face or back of curb of the islands. All you need is a single center line and the establishment of key elevations along the curbs, and the 3D element of the design is combined with the base map control to generate the 3D road model for the top or the datum surface. So this eliminates a tremendous amount of time in your design work. And in the production, you see the same benefit because the true length and true grade calculations are also performed by referencing that base map control data. So to illustrate how it's created, it's a very simple process. You'll have to either use your site layout that you're using for your project, or you'll have to combine the different elements of your base maps together to create one drawing that contains all of your needed elements for your base map control, your boundaries, lot lines, rights of way, all of your curbs, center lines, and crown lines. So right now I've got Civil 3D 2014 opened here, and I'm going to use a drawing to reference that is my site layout. Okay, all of the geometry in your site layout has to be local. It can't be an XREF. So that's one of the constraints that requires that you probably will have to put your respective base maps together to come up with one that contains everything. And you can use this composite file just for creating your base map control if you like. If you have such a workflow that requires that you break up the curb and gutter from the rights of way and lot lines, and whatever your particular style of production and design consists of. So that is the preliminary requirement for base map control with ASC. So after you've got your composite drawing created, the next step would be to, of course, set the data path. Be testing. Okay, so I've created my data path for the base map control definition. The next step would be to go to the Tools tab on the ribbon under the Design Support panel and select BMC Define. After ASC initializes, the dialog will show the layers that ASC found that closely matched the control systems that it needs. So we have a layer called boundary, one called lot line, right of way, and these will obviously vary from client to client. So as long as you're using something that is close to what would be expected for a particular uh, layering system, ASC will probably find it. If it doesn't, you can always click the pop-up and select the correct layer. But in this case, everything was discovered. So the next step would be to just click OK. And a dialog shows you that the process is completed. If you have any polylines in this drawing, they'll be exploded. ASC is only going to work with lines and arcs, AutoCAD primitives, for creating that 2D design data. So this dialog lets you know that the file has been created, but the base map geometry, the polylines are no longer in the drawing. So keep that in mind when you're determining which drawing is going to be used for defining your base map control. If your files are sensitive and have polylines on those layers that need to be preserved, then you should create a dedicated drawing for this purpose. After you click OK, the process is complete. And if you were to browse to your ASC data folder, sort by date, ASC base map control is the file that was created. If you look inside that file, it's just a bunch of numbers. It doesn't mean anything, so you could just leave it. I recommend not opening or editing this file in any way. And if it does get modified, you'll see errors in your design and production work, and you'll need to redefine your base map control. As is also true, if there are changes to your site layout, you'll also need to redefine this information. It's a very important part of what makes ASC as efficient and productive a system as it is.